We are live. What is up?
Rolling. Oh. No.
Everyone on YouTube's
So
like, who's sitting there? Welcome to the podcast. I'm Sam. That's Nicole. We have special guest PodPartDeux.
Yeah.
And that's Cameron, who you've heard before on our John Wick episode, and Carrie.
Wait for your.
Hi.
Wait.
Go for it.
Now you're in.
Oh, cool. Hi, I'm Cameron, and people keep asking me if I'm gonna come back,
And he's back.
and I'm thinking I'm back.
Oh my gosh.
I'm back.
John Wick episode was really fun.
It was
Carrie,
really fun.
And I'm
thank
Carrie.
you for being
I
here.
don't have a tagline.
That's all right.
That
That is your tagline, though. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
That's exactly it.
We're all here together.
Namaste.
A little bit of info for everyone that's watching that hasn't listened to PodPartDeux. They do sequels that no one asked for. So their podcast is in like short version, 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think your longest is like 50.
Running in even 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like a tight.
A tight 40.
Love it. And they do. They talk about ideas for sequels of movies that maybe don't have them.
Yeah.
And no one
And
asked for.
Yeah, no one asked for them.
No one's thinking about them until
you know.
talk about it.
We roll up.
We roll up and we're like, you know what needs a sequel? The 1997 film Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones.
And
Yes.
people are like, "What's that?" And now they know.
And then they don't download that episode.
It's good to do the obscure stuff. It's good to do the obscure stuff because
You're a cult pod. That's
yeah,
good.
you find your niche,
True.
Yeah,
right?
niche, yeah.
You get your cult people, and then you just start doing the mainstream stuff, and then all of a sudden everyone's listening,
Yeah.
right?
And then
So-
we cut the check, and then you're here.
You know,
And you're big. You're big time.
It's great to be a part of the Crawler family. We feel so welcome in this organization.
Crawler Media.
Crawler
Offices are
Media
beautiful.
is big.
Um,
Welcome to the studio.
Yeah.
Even though I broke the first rule.
Oh my
opening.
gosh,
It's
Carrie.
bound to happen.
We won't
Here
talk about
before
it.
Because
It's
I
okay.
did it, it's okay that you've done it.
Okay. But that's my one.
Yeah.
But that's
Never
it.
again.
Never again.
That's all.
Carrie popped her beer before we even started recording, so we'll pop them. We'll pop them in a second. But if you guys are watching on YouTube and you want to listen to PodPartDeux, we are actually going to be on their episode as well for her
Can't wait.
as well. So it's going to be very interesting, a little cross collab there. You can look in the description, or if you're on social media, you can find all their information. We will be posting it everywhere. So
Cool.
let's pop these then.
Oh, we're ready. Okay, all ready. All
right.
three of us.
Oh, Carrie, go.
Ooh.
That was
a
synchronized.
good one.
Carrie was synced. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
30 minutes ago.
It smells like I'm gonna get knocked right now.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good-
Cameron like
Didn't we
prepared
split
me.
that?
Yeah, that was the one we split when we watched.
Dude, take it. Did you
Shrek.
taste it?
Oh, I haven't taken
Four?
it.
You,
Yeah.
that's
we
why
got-
that
we
episode
got
was so
baked
good. I love that episode. Dude,
Yo, is this coffee?
exactly. Dangerous.
Let's talk about what we're drinking. Cameron, what are you drinking?
Cameron, tell us what we're drinking because
Uh,
we need you.
So we got a lot of Modern Times in the room right now.
Modern Times.
Modern Times represent sponsor
Oh, this is
us.
I didn't know this was Modern Times.
That is. It's a collaboration. So Sam and Nicole are drinking Baker's Dozen, which is a collab between Modern Times and is it 12% Brewing?
Mason Snail.
Oh,
Works?
Mason Ale
Snail
Works.
Works.
Yeah.
Mason
Ale
Snail Works.
Mason.
Mason Snail Works.
Mason
It's a better
Snooch.
name.
Mason.
There's literally a snail.
There is a snail. On there.
But it's not spelled correctly.
Yes, it's spelled S-N-A-L-E.
A-L-E.
Baker's Dozen.
Mason Snail Works.
What-
Yeah, so they're both out of California. I believe Mason Ale Works is out of San Marcos, and
San
Modern Times
Marcos.
is San
Close to
Diego.
home. Close to home.
It's always close to home.
And you guys are drinking a maple aged barley wine,
It's very good.
13% alcohol.
What does 100% geisha mean?
That means that the coffee beans that they use to make this beer are 100% single origin geisha beans.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Wow, I'm transcended.
Welcome.
We're on
Well,
the next
we're on
level.
Wait, am I on whose podcast are we on?
I know,
We need to get
no,
our game
Cameron
up.
has a new podcast coming out called Beer Expert.
Is it real?
No, I'm,
Is-
I'm
I'm about to go on it. I'm like, when are we signing? We'll
No.
sign that contract, okay? I'm about to go on.
Well,
trademark.
it's
Give me.
in here. You know, we'll talk about it
Okay.
off.
Beer
offline.
expert. That's
I
a
want
great
2%
one.
royalties.
That's probably already a thing.
I
though.
gave the name. Just
beer expert. I love that highly creative.
So great. Carrie's drinking one, and I know it from the can. And if you're watching on YouTube and you've seen the social media posts, maybe you can tell. I don't know. The lighting's pretty bad.
Prairie Artisan Ales Rainbow Sherbet. A sour ale with rainbow sherbet flavors, and they're there.
Yes, it is very
yummy.
good. I had that one.
Very
Yeah,
delicious.
I forgot what pod we did that on. But
You named it though. Have you had that before?
Yeah.
Because Cameron's like, which one do you want? And
Well,
you're like,
I
sherbet
mean,
one.
I read the can.
No, I know. I'm saying when he asked
Oh,
before we even
yeah.
recorded,
Yeah.
you were like the sherbet one, like you knew.
He's brought it to me before.
That's
Stat.
awesome.
Give it to me,
An
stat.
offering.
And Cameron,
I am drinking
Got the tall
Modern
boy.
Times Critical Band 16-ounce can. It's a hazy tropical IPA from one of my favorite breweries, Modern Times, and it's their seasonal that they usually do between, I think it's between June and August.
okay,
limited time, people.
sweet.
Go out and grab.
And if you're also watching and
sponsor.
you're wondering what the hell's going on with their mic over there, well,
That's right.
this is the first film crawl episode with 4 people. Well, not really the first one.
right that you can see.
Yes, the
Yeah.
first visual. We had one, Serenity, which had 4 people, but they shared a mic as well. Okay, I'm broke.
And that movie
okay,
was ass.
that's how many mics we
okay.
got.
And
So
And we don't have an XLR, mic, so we
Yeah.
cannot. we
and on
cannot
their pod,
contribute.
they just share a USB mic. So we were really,
We're in this
Sometimes
together.
3 of us.
It's okay.
and Mac decided to remove USBs. So now you guys, you
Yeah.
understand
We
it
like
now.
each other.
Don't come
so.
for Mac right
Yeah,
now. We need
that's
that
okay.
sponsor.
Hey, oh, sorry, Apple. We
Apple,
love your product. Love the
Call
product.
us. Call
The
us.
Mac company.
The Mac company. Apple Mac computer.
Spelled with a K.
Smacking Mac.
Love it.
We have a lot of house cleaning stuff before we get
Shit,
into
that's
her.
what the fuck we
Clean
do.
that house.
Sorry.
Into her. Yeah, before we get into her. Thanks. I'm very good with words today.
That's beer's hitting already.
Yeah.
I'm about to slur all my words. But we got a lot of response to the movie that we're doing today.
Dude, people love this movie.
Yeah, it's like
That's just what
Nice.
it
it's
is.
top 5 for a lot of people.
Wow.
They didn't really say top 5. I just everyone says
Since
top
they
5.
commented, it's top 5
Exactly.
immediately.
Or they're just like best film like of the decade or something. I'm like, okay, that's top 5 for them.
Okay, if you
okay.
say that,
You
yeah.
start. You start.
Okay. Podger fan, my friend, he's back. He
With the
comments
full
and I'm like,
reviews, with the full reviews, I love it.
why isn't Instagram showing me comments?
Oh, do you want me to take it?
I found it.
Okay,
Guys, I'm drunk.
we're not ready
blasted.
He actually commented this twice. It was a mistake, but
because it's the same thing. Yeah.
he said, beautiful film. Having it set in near future LA is great because it's totally something that could potentially happen in the future. The sex, in quotes, scene is such a powerful moment of the film, and though some found it to be comical, it was really important. It was a really important moment. Interesting take on how people can find love in many forms and whether or not it's wrong considering how happy it makes someone without hurting anyone else. Hoyt went ham, and Will Butler / Owen Pallett killed the score. One of the top films, my top films of all time. Wow.
That's a good point. That was deep.
Yeah.
We can talk about those points. I have
We
some of them
will.
written down. Nicole, you're up.
Yeah. Samantha Beatty commented as well.
Long time friend.
Okay, she's your friend. Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Samantha. Hi. Thoughts on this film? It takes an open-minded person to understand this movie and see the deeper meaning. I do feel this film was ahead of its time, but I loved it then and still love it now. Which,
Huge props.
yeah,
It was ahead of its time.
it really was, but in a way that we'll get into later on in the pod.
How
stay
many
tuned.
times have you guys seen it? 1,
2 for me.
2, 2 for me.
2.
2. Did you guys cry at all in this film?
Yes.
Oh, I absolutely did the first time I saw it.
Okay.
You cried?
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I had just gotten out of a relationship, also with someone named
Dude.
Catherine.
Oof.
So it just
No
hit, like-
way.
Yeah, it just hit like way too close to home, and I had to like take breaks watching the movie, and yeah, it was rough the first time. This time it was I could feel myself tearing up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You knew, yeah.
Just because it's like a very emotionally draining movie
Really
to
is.
watch.
I was the opposite. So I was in a relationship when I first saw this movie, and at the time I just remember being like, "Oh, it's a pretty movie," and I like Joaquin Phoenix. He was a good actor. So at the time I was just like, "Okay, cool." And I'm single now, and watching it was such like it was an experience for
Yeah.
sure. So I was
Joaquin's
kind of the opposite.
great in it.
Yeah. So I watched it for the second time single, and it hits you way differently. Trust me. It's like, whoa, it's hard.
Carrie, what about you?
It wasn't as cringy as I thought it would be.
Why do you think it was cringy?
Well, like the premise that a guy falls in love with
an
a
operating
female
system.
AI,
Yeah.
it just
Could get very weirdly
weird.
kinky. Yeah.
and it didn't. Even like the sex scenes felt earned and yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
I didn't cry. We started the movie at like 8:15, 8:30, and I have a hard time staying.
Any listener to our podcast knows this.
As a listener, I do.
You were falling asleep.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
a good lullaby movie though. Like this will
It's,
put
like,
you to sleep.
So calming.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you guys could probably relate. Like, I think from what you're saying with falling asleep,
Yeah.
it really does depend on when you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Like when we go to watch a movie in theaters, you and I, we typically see Late Boys.
We do.
And I'm fucking tired. But when we watch it at home, I can't watch it too early. So if it's like 10 a.m., there's no way. I won't pay attention. It's so weird. And then I have to like find that middle ground. Like right after dinner has to be the movie time for me.
Yeah.
I feel you.
7 p.m.
Yeah, you eat dinner, you get your, whatever, your Cheetos, whatever you're going to snack on.
That's okay. That's
Cheetos
your
are my snack.
Got
It's
that
hard
bag
though when you're
ready.
writing notes. You're like, yeah.
Cheetos and Sours.
Yeah, let's see how many Cheeto stains we got in this book. Sours, always good. But yeah, I totally feel that. And for me, I've seen it twice. First time I saw it, I don't even remember the first time I saw it.
I think you were a little baby.
I
It
was-
came out in 2013.
What? That was only that's 6 years ago.
You were 17, Sam.
Shit. I probably saw it when I was like 19.
Okay.
So, like,
you didn't see it right when it
Yeah,
came out.
and then watching it again for this, I didn't cry during it, and I don't know, I wasn't really. I would talk about that, but I cried after, dude. Like
when
literally,
it sits with you.
like no, like not when it ended. Like fucking, it ended. We turned it off. Brooke and I watched something else.
You just think
I went to
about it.
bed. I'm laying in bed. I just start bawling. I was like,
Oh no.
I had a fucking breakdown. I was
Yeah.
like, and she's like, "Are you fucking okay?" I was like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on."
It's a heavy movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't even
Yeah.
like about love. It was more like I was breaking down about like for what I was feeling. I lost a friend a couple years ago, and just like that kind of stuff, like that broken heart stuff, not
The
like
loss.
love. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the loss part. And today's her birthday. But it was so weird. I was just like feeling all that at once, and then I just like couldn't hold it in. It was super weird. But I think this movie brought it out.
Yeah, well, that's what,
Man, it's depressing.
I know. Well, that's what is
But
great
that's what
about
great
this.
films do.
Exactly. But this movie as
I'm
well,
sweating.
like it was kind of not promoted. I don't know what, but like people I think go into this being like, oh, it's a movie about how AI is going to transform and like that's what AI is going to be like in the future. And it's not about that. It's really about like love and loss and grief and how we all handle that. Connections, exactly. So it hits differently for people.
It hit different.
Yeah, it's different, man.
You
But
can't say that
that's-
now without it being a meme. Like,
but it's perfect. Like that's the perfect example. It doesn't have to be about
Right.
a romantic love. It could hit you in so many different ways. So
Yeah.
can we talk about Spike Jonze?
filmography,
Like-
it bothers you.
Like,
a little bit?
he's not. I don't want to say he's a nobody because this movie made him.
He does weird. Like, would you say surreal films?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he started out as a music video director, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
and
that's right.
he
And it kind of shows, I think, especially with a movie like this.
well
Yeah.
how
With his wide shots. I
wide
think.
shot the
Exactly.
organization in the shots, but the cinematography is like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
like screenwriting on Jackass, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
produced
Really?
Jackass
Yep.
3.5 and 3.
Bad Grandpa.
He did
These are those pictures.
That's on his
Alright.
filmography.
yeah.
Dang.
He did Where the
Very
Wild
good.
Things Are.
That's
He was
a
a
cool
director and
movie, yeah.
screenwriter.
I haven't seen that.
Seen it either.
But he also did The Lazarus Effect, the remake, the 2015 version with I don't know if you guys saw that.
I've
Terrible
never seen
movie.
That. Why do you see every movie? How many movies
Dude, you
do
just
you
go.
see?
That's why I do this
I don't-
podcast.
I don't waste
Um,
that money.
But he wasn't like well known. It's not like you got
Well,
like
He did Being John Malkovich, right? That's like a big
Yeah.
one. I remember seeing
Yeah.
that on
Yeah.
IFC as a kid. It's a weird one.
He did. He does a lot of.
That one hits different.
Exactly. As a 13-year-old, it'll hit you different.
But
Yeah,
you know,
it's
he's
so
not
weird.
like well known. I think when it came out, and you know, it's called Her, and then like the tagline is like a love story by Spike Jonze.
Yeah, he wrote it. Like he wrote it. And
Very
directed it, so it's his
interesting.
idea.
Because it's based off of a short film he did in 2010, I think I read.
Oh, is it
Okay.
really?
I
Or
do
not based off, but like
briefly
it
remember that.
It sparked from
A little idea.
a
that
little
he had.
guy. Yeah.
Spark. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what Nicole said, I really love that it's not about. Well, it is about the technology, but it's not about it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the world that you're set up in, future LA, whatever year it is.
It just feels natural.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
they
like
put you in it. They
simulation.
tell you this is what it is. They show you it, and I really love the world.
Yes.
I actually
Yeah.
it frustrates me watching those city shots because it's LA, but it's not LA.
Well, they
Well,
filmed in Shanghai.
yeah. so
Right?
the
They did well
city
when
shots
he's like
are-
on the ground, but I'm saying like the
Yeah.
big shots because they're doing a lot of like, you know, CG elements to like real LA downtown, and then they're like adding more buildings to like make it look futuristic.
I think they overlaid it
They,
with
like-
Shanghai.
Yeah, they
sky-
did
like
some kind of
skyscrapers,
cool,
Yeah.
but you can't tell, right? You're seeing that in like a drone shot, I guess you could say.
Right.
And it frustrates me because you're like, I know where we are, but that's not it because you're not there. But that's what makes it great because you're like, this could be it.
Mhm.
Like that could be the future.
Yeah.
I buy it 100%. When you watch a movie like 2040, Blade Runner 2049, have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top 5.
And yeah, but you see the world, you see LA then, and you're like, do I really buy that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know,
It's
do I
supposed
buy
to
that
be,
as
like out of this world? Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be set in a.
yeah, it's a different tone. I get that, but it's just for this film it works so perfectly because you know the world and stuff isn't really about it, but that's what helps drive the movie. I think a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The universe that they create feels so real. Like it just feels so much like they don't spend a lot of time focusing on like I mean, obviously they spend time talking about the OS,
Right.
but otherwise like the other technology, like the video games and stuff, they don't sit down like explain things. And I think the best science fiction doesn't explain things.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's
need
just
to.
this is
Doesn't need
it.
to.
This
It's
is
like,
what it is.
We're gonna put this out here. It's like the authors Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank. They talk about science fiction where it's like, well, when you're writing about a car, you don't say how the engine works and how the drivetrain works and everything. The car goes. The spaceship goes. It's all the same.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about how it like just works in the world that you're building.
Yeah.
It's someone else's problem how it works.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But it
like
feels
if
like
their
such-
transmission goes out.
Yeah. But the world of Her feels like such a natural transition from the world we're living in today. Like even more so now than it did in 2013.
Exactly.
It's wild how real it feels. Like even the fashion
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
very much like something that I could see being in fashion 10 years from now.
And
Right,
It's so
and it-
hopeful.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
the combination of like humans and technology, how we utilize it. Yes, it seems a little like everyone's got a thing in their ear and they're talking to themselves.
Right.
But it's not like other future forward movies that you've seen. It's not Black Mirror.
Right. Like
Right.
negative.
Yeah.
Or like even the people walking on the street when Theodore's talking to Samantha, it's not like people are like, ooh, who's he talking? Like, why is he
Right.
talking to himself?
Yeah.
Or why is he doing this? It's
I mean,
like,
that's
oh.
real even today.
Yeah.
Well, no, I feel like if I'm in the
How many
street-
people you walk around have air fucking pods in?
Right, but like
And they're
we
just-
notice that. Like we're like, oh, look at this
Yeah.
douchebag, like
Yeah.
walking, you know. But like, I'm sorry.
Look at
sorry,
this guy
AirPods.
showing his riches around me.
Exactly.
$300
But like, or if people are like FaceTiming in public, you're like, oh, that's a little weird, and like it's just
I get it,
ingrained
yeah.
in us to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
look at
That's
that.
private.
I guess we're
Exactly.
not like, yeah, we're not fully there yet, but
Right. We're in
people are
this.
embracing it. It is a thing.
Exactly.
And what to Samantha's comment on Instagram, it was a little bit ahead of its time. I mean, 2013, but
Yeah.
like time fucking the way technology and things jump now.
Yeah.
Even
is
like
insane.
I wanted Theodore's job. Like
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I
the-
loved his job.
the
I was gonna
writing, like,
say, yeah.
deeply personal letters for people.
Knowing these people throughout the years
But
and
for
like just
multiple years.
yeah, it
Yeah.
reminds me
So
of our
great
old
at
job of like you're supposed to know these people, and then like you
Yeah.
remember, oh, like that's right, he has a son that was 12 when I first had him, but now he's 18
Yeah.
and I'm writing a graduation card.
Yeah.
Like that
It's
was
such
weird.
a unique like job that they invented. For
Exactly. It was
Right.
really nice.
And there's those services are real too.
right.
Yeah.
Right now,
Mhm.
but
We know
they
those
just
all
kind
too
of
well.
they just kind of twisted it
We're
and
kinda
made
triggered.
it. The color palette is what I really love about the movie.
Yeah.
That's what makes it hopeful too.
Yeah,
It's not-
especially with him in the beginning, it's really drab, and like you see in the colors,
Yeah.
like the actual colors really pop. It like reminds me of like Schindler's List, like where the red jacket is just like the standout. All like main colors, purple, green, orange. Like in
see where you're going,
his
yeah.
office was like those were vibrant,
Pinks
but
and-
everything else was like really dull. Like they really they toned it. You could tell
like
that
the
someone
sky.
took it. Yeah.
It was like cloudy almost.
Yeah.
I think whenever you
And I
saw
think that's like to
his face.
represent his life too,
Mhm.
until he starts finding new outlets. But then when you even go into his flashbacks, they're way more colorful,
It's sunny.
sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just that stuff really kind of immerses you. What else? Let's just go then, because we've talked about like universe, which
Yeah.
I think we all fucking like.
Building, yeah.
But let's just go into like some points on what you guys really loved about it and what hit home, and then we'll get into things that
It's about to get real.
maybe we didn't
ready?
like.
I really liked the depiction of complicated relationships.
'Kay.
Like, it wasn't that one person was,
In the wrong.
yeah. Like, I think Theodore, he talks about him growing apart. Well, not growing apart from Catherine, but he withdrew himself a little bit.
Wasn't emotional.
Right, and that's what led to them getting the divorce. And how he wasn't upset with her for wanting it. He just didn't feel ready to move on.
Right.
Right, and
Wanting
that's
the divorce. Like
Right.
wanting to separate that.
Right.
He just wasn't ready. Like, yeah. Man,
that's
that
super
hit.
relatable.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, and not even just marriage and relationship in general.
because it was really about like you said, it wasn't one person was at fault. It was about two people.
They grew
who-
apart.
They grew apart. They didn't really communicate about it, or it like the things that they fell in love with each other in the beginning. That's what grew them apart.
Yeah.
I think, and that's a total relationship, like real life thing, and it's just all about communication. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's not a bad thing. You just learn from it and you grow.
Yeah.
Which is what I got from this. Like that's what I got from the montages.
Yeah.
I
And even the relationship with Amy and her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it showed like a different type of toxic relationship that we don't see
Right.
as often, like in the media and in like television films. You see toxic relationships and it's all sort of one note.
cheating.
Yeah. Or like abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's also like hypercriticalness and not thinking about the other person's feelings before you speak.
Exactly.
Emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like emotional suffocation almost, where it's
Yeah.
like why would you put your idea out there like that, where it's like, that's my art, like why wouldn't I?
Why aren't you supporting me?
Exactly. But yeah, it's like a real kind of parallel between Theodore and Catherine, and I don't think that their relationship was toxic necessarily.
Theodore
just-
and Catherine?
I
No.
felt like their relationship was
Natural.
pretty natural.
It just happens.
They just became kind of different people. and
Exactly.
They like
Didn't
you were saying,
grow.
Carrie.
Yeah.
They didn't grow together. They didn't talk about it. They didn't quite have that partnership, or they didn't have the foundations of the partnership maybe established early on.
To bridge like
Yeah.
who you were versus who you are now.
Right. And like coming from Theodore's perspective, that I know firsthand like how bad that hurts, where it's like, I love this person and I've known them, like I know who they are, but to feel that you're growing apart from them and I'm not a part of that really is just very sad, and that's what he's dealing with.
Yeah,
in this movie.
sometimes you can't force yourself to grow with that person, or you
Exactly.
can't force the relationship to grow in the way that you envisioned it.
Exactly.
And they complex relationships or those issues. And Catherine and Theodore, they still love each other. It's obvious.
Exactly.
When they sign the papers and stuff. But she's like, it is what it is. Like that's literally life. And I think that's the best part is it's so real, it's so grounded, it's so like it. Everyone's been through this, and if you haven't, then you're lucky. But a lot of people have been through this, and the struggle. And I'm just gonna depict it in a futuristic kind of sense, not over the top futuristic, just more of a realistic view, and then add in that element of, okay, what does it mean to be human with Samantha? And then what does it mean?
Connection.
What does love even mean? Do you have to love another human? How do you connect with things in the world? So it brings up those little elements and then runs with it, and I love that. Cameron, what about you?
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way, and I was actually just gonna ask how you guys felt about them putting this in a futuristic setting.
Yeah.
Do you think that was necessary, or do you think that was beneficial to the story? Do you think this same story could have worked in the modern time?
I think
That's a good question.
I think it would have worked, but it would have felt like any other relationship movie. I haven't seen 500 Days of Summer, but I know that's a huge one of depicting a relationship and a breakup.
Right.
But from what I've heard of it, I plan on watching it. I'm just not in the right space right now to watch it.
Fair.
I think if her didn't have the AI aspect of the film, it would just have been it would have been a pretty movie, and it would have been a good breakup movie, but it would have been just like everything else.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had
forgettable.
Exactly. It wouldn't have been about that connection. Because I think Samantha is really about it's not about this dude, oh, he's weird, he's falling in love with a robot. It's a part of this world, and it's it's not about falling in love with a robot. It's about falling in love with that bond that you have with somebody.
And how I feel like the parallels between his relationship with Catherine and his relationship with Samantha are there, where Samantha chooses to go on to the next thing and to essentially leave him.
Right, which is...
And I feel like something that I've always said is that relationships are about choice. It doesn't, not that it doesn't matter if you love the person, but love is not enough. It's choosing that person day in and day out,
right?
No matter what. And it's fine if you don't choose that person.
Exactly.
And I feel like this movie definitely shows that even if you don't end up choosing that person, or you come to a point where you stop choosing them every day, it doesn't negate all of the love and the things that you've been through and the memories that you've shared with them.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes we feel like, okay, so a relationship's
heavy,
ended.
Bro. I think I need this. Thank you. How much do I pay?
Deep.
How much do I owe you at the end?
This is actually just a session for Nicole.
It really is. If you guys know, you know.
I feel like our society tries to tell us that you've got one love, and you've got to find that one love.
Yeah.
And anyone that came before them is shit, and forget about them.
Yeah,
Goddamn, so true.
And
but
I feel like it's way more complicated than we ever make it out to be. And we were talking about this after the movie too, that you can have a real connection with many different people, just like Samantha. She said that she'd been talking to thousands of people, had fallen in love with hundreds of those.
Right.
And it just shows that we connect with each other way more often than we think, and it's about who you choose.
Yeah.
Who you choose to spend your limited amount of energy and time with.
It doesn't really... You could love multiple people at once. And it's up to your choice, like you said, your choice. Mm-hmm. And
but there's different types of love.
Right. You can love someone, I have exes that I still care about and love. It's not that I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. You're saying, society's, fuck that guy, fuck that girl.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if they did horrible things to you, I
if
can
it was
see
toxic.
that.
If it was toxic.
But
that's the knee-jerk reaction that people want to have, because they want to say, Gary was saying, like, so much of society is focusing on you got to find your one true love.
Yeah.
It's just that like fairy tale thing that's not real.
It's not.
All.
And some people you'll fall in love with, and you guys will have a great relationship. And sometimes, just like in the movie, things don't work out.
Sounds like our text right now. I'm like, fuck.
Am I just like reading the text?
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, fuck. Let's hide that away.
Sometimes.
Get her in here.
Sometimes the relationships don't work out, and you still love those people that you've met and you've experienced those experiences with, and you go on about life, and those people in your life really build the person that you are, and you continue to go
who
through.
you are now.
Yeah. So society's fucked up, guys. I mean, if you go look at, it's annoying. It's honestly annoying. It's never fairy tale. You'll meet people. I've met people that are fairy tale. That's fine.
And we still kind of have, like, I kind of still have this fairy tale mindset ingrained in me, but you're not a bad person for having been raised like that. It's not our fault.
No,
like,
of
you
course
know,
not.
that was what was around us, and it's
still
about
around us.
learning. Yeah. And it's about learning through other people, through witnessing other relationships or watching even like movies, like, and going through your own life. It's about learning about yourself and all
that's
that stuff.
such a beautiful thing about just being alive and being a person, is being able to learn over time and experience these things over time and kind of come to your own conclusions and learn your own lessons. But it takes time. It's not something that you can just have someone sit down and tell you, like, this is the way it is.
Yeah. Or like, fuck that guy, fuck that girl.
Right.
Like,
that's,
you know, you can hear that, but
anything.
exactly.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just this conversation is what makes the film great.
Right.
I mean, just you can sit there after the movie and just have it speaks to everyone in different ways, but also in the same way at the same time. You know, oh, I really love this about it. But you have your umbrella and it just trickles down. And it's really great. Joaquin was amazing. I don't know how he didn't fucking get nominated for this.
He didn't.
He didn't even get a nomination.
It only got best screenplay.
It won best original screenplay in 2014,
which totally was.
It was nominated for I think it was nominated for score and something else. It was only
better
3.
Have gotten cinematography, at least a nomination.
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
But,
I wonder what it was up again. What it would have been up.
Well, 2014.
2014. Man. Interstellar.
Because it beat out the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. It beat out Dallas Buyers.
Right,
and
which
American Hustle.
Right.
Best Picture one was Dallas Buyers.
And Best Actor was too, or Best Supporting.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Best Supporting was Jared Leto. Matthew McConaughey won.
Yeah. So I mean, he should have been nominated because
for sure.
He needs at least the nomination for like the respect factor.
He's the new Leo. where's his Oscar nom?
Does he have one?
No.
Phoenix, Joaquin?
He might have had one for Gladiator. No, Walk the Line. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did he win that?
It's like one of my favorite. I don't think he won, but he was nominated.
Okay, I love that movie.
Reese Witherspoon won. Yeah, I love that movie a lot.
I love him.
I love him
That's
too.
literally just my note. Just says Joaquin Phoenix. I love him in this because imagine playing that. That's such a hard role.
Yeah. And he really gets into roles like that.
Yeah.
Like
this makes me so excited for Joker, and because he's gonna.
I know.
In October, I think it's October comes out.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it really makes me excited. He gets so invested into the roles. You can't even really tell it's fucking him. It's weird. It's like every role he plays is just like
Some guy.
know it's Joaquin Phoenix, but you're like this dude's just amazing.
Exactly. Or like you're just like I wrote in my notes where this movie, it's like I felt like I was watching a scene from somebody's life.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so like
where you're just like, but it didn't feel. Yeah, but it didn't even feel dirty. It was like, oh, I'm seeing this through a window, or like.
Yeah.
It felt kind of science fiction-y where I'm like, I was sat in a room and like I'm just watching somebody's life and I'm just supposed to.
Them.
Yeah, but it didn't feel weird. It was just like, you need to know, you need to see this lesson almost, which is why it made me feel weird in like a weird nostalgic way.
Yeah.
Man, those moments where he's just like laying in bed and just like awake and
it's shot beautifully.
Really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like Padre fan said on Instagram, like they went hard. The cinematography is amazing.
Yeah.
The color palette is amazing. I want to just like I want one of the shots of him like downtown as like a screensaver. Like they're so good.
This is wallpaper material.
Yeah. The colors are pop. The colors pop where they need to pop.
Yeah.
And they're dark where they need to be dark. And it's just really great to watch. And then what really makes me laugh is like the whole commercial with the OS. Like just reminds me of like future Apple. Like, like that was literally an Apple commercial in the future.
Or like even Nike.
Yeah, like
almost.
Well, you know what's coming, and it's like all epic and shit like that. It all even down to that minor detail. You know, you just that part. I think they made it like that because it's relatable. Again, they just made things
of the time.
They just made things that they know people will relate to, and can believe. Yeah, this is the future because I've seen it, and it's probably going to be there when we go down the you know, when we get down the line. So
were we a fan of the montages between Theodore and Catherine cut into this movie?
Like cut in? You guys can answer first.
I wished that I had more of that.
Okay, nice.
Because I feel like there were moments where we could see him thinking, and it would have been nice to have like even just like a snippet and then pull back.
Cut in between.
Yeah, and then have the long... Because I liked where they placed the ones that they did.
Right.
The length of them.
They're there and they need to be there.
Yeah. But just like memories, like there are certain things that trigger certain memories of yours, and you just see like a fraction of where you've been or when you've seen someone, you know?
Yeah.
And then other times where you really allow yourself to just settle into a memory.
Right.
But I did like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was reading like a lot of comments on various like videos and articles, and a lot of people it could have been because they were watching it when this movie came out, which it was like another breakup film. But they didn't really like the montages because they thought they were lies. I remember one comment said that, and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of.
They're lies.
Yeah, like it was just him looking back, and like it's lies that he's telling himself. But I didn't take it like that.
No.
It was.
That someone got fucked up. I'm sorry. Whoever that was, you got a bad breakup going on.
They were calling him out. This episode is therapy for
them. Stop telling lies to yourself.
Well, I thought it was like kind of with the theme of the movie. It's Theodore remembering the good times, and even there were bad memories in there. I remember it's him remembering those and choosing to live in the past, which we all have done. And you're not wrong for choosing to live there. It's about getting past that. You're allowed to live in there for however long it takes you to get over it, to, sure, remember those. You're never going to forget those, but like you got to get past it. And that's what those montages were for me.
And there's a point where they stop. And like they really tone it down. I think they're still there, but they like, it's a fraction of what they were at the first half of the movie. And that's him growing and getting over it with Samantha.
Yeah.
Like Samantha is the person. I'm going to call her a person. I don't care.
Yeah.
Samantha
ScarJo
is the person or the thing that is pushing his life forward. And yes, they're not meant to be together their whole life. I think for her whole role in his life is to push him past that, to help him get out and realize what's out there or what his potential is in life, and move on, basically. And her intentions are completely different, and that's fine. But it just reminds me of like La La Land.
Yes.
They don't get together at the end, and it's fucking annoying because I love them, Emma Stone and Ryan together.
Yeah.
But
that's so weird that you say that, because as soon as I finished this, I was like, I want to watch La La Land again.
Yeah. But so that the only reason they've crossed paths and they've gone through this relationship was to push each other, and she says, I think she says it or he says it, that we were just we were there
at the right time,
at the right times in our lives, and we just needed each other for these moments in our lives. They were both entrepreneurs. They both wanted to do things in film, and he wanted to do music, and they
this is La La Land that we're talking about. Sorry.
And they wanted to push each other. So I think that's kind of like the same role there. You guys switching hands. So
sweaty.
So I love that.
Yeah. I don't like.
But the flashbacks I was fine with. I really loved I just love that they weren't besides the first one, she's like, "Come spoon me." They weren't. There was no
Cheesy.
Sound.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was just moments, and that those are flashbacks that I think should be in film. And I don't like when they're like, and then it's like a whole other scene, and you're like, you hear everything, and it's like, I don't need to hear it as the audience member. I need to see it. I'll put my words in. I'll read the lips. I'll feel the emotion through the acting, and they really did that.
Even more, honestly.
Yeah, because it's dead silent. There's not even music, I don't think, in those moments.
Yeah.
No.
And it's just her looking pissed, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like I could feel it.
Yeah.
I've been here, and that those are great.
But I mean that's peak filmmaking right there. Is when you don't need sound.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
It's that kind of reminds me of the scene in Arrival that everyone like gives Jeremy Renner shit for. Let's make a baby. That could have just been a nice flashback of like her choice to make a baby, even knowing that the baby's gonna die eventually. But they choose to put. It's just like they did it. Oh. You haven't seen Arrival?
Oh no.
I didn't really spoil.
Jesus.
I am queen of spoilers, by the way. I'm so
the whole
sorry.
pod is queen of spoilers.
We also haven't seen La La Land.
Oh my god.
Oh, you have? Okay,
Well,
I haven't seen La La Land.
You need to get on
that
it.
one's not that bad. That one's not that
What?
bad. The spoiler, I mean. The spoiler.
Oh, they don't get together. That's huge. All right, cut it.
It's the journey.
Refilm. Okay, look into this.
You guys didn't see it.
No, I literally will text Sam like, what happened in this movie, and he's like, no, just watch it. I'm like, I'm going to Wikipedia right now. I don't care. I'm going to YouTube.
I hate that so
I
much.
know. He hates it.
I hate that so much. Like,
I'm really sorry, but it's.
I feel bad
Arrival
now.
is still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
even if it's spoiled for you. Watch it.
You need to watch
It's
it.
on our list for episodes. To
Yes.
sequel to.
Wow,
right.
there you
And
go.
I don't know how they get to that point.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
have
It's
no
the journey
context.
there that's honestly.
It's
I
great.
will forget by the time we go to watch
But
it.
that's just literally a quote, though.
Exactly.
That's just
it's
literally
It's just a quote. It's just a quote.
Okay.
You'll see. It's not the end of the movie.
Totally out of context.
Okay, back to
Totally out of
her. Let's
context.
Carol.
I love
I'm
that.
Roll it. Throw it
I
away.
can't believe you haven't seen La La Land.
That's yeah. A lot of people give that movie shit, and I
Fuck
like
them.
La La Land.
I made the mistake-
great
So
movie.
I did a double feature where I went to see. Oh my God! Now I'm forgetting of the. It was the one about the 3 African American.
Moonlight.
The women who got the.
Oh,
spaceship.
yeah.
Yes.
Fuck.
I
They're-
forgot the
They're called
name.
computers.
Hidden figures.
Hidden
Figures.
Figures.
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is.
Is that your final answer?
Hidden figures.
What is Hidden
Based on a book.
Figures?
Yes.
Based
And
on
a real story.
That's a great movie.
So I made the mistake of watching Hidden Figures and then going to see La La Land. And I
Oh.
was like,
Did you like La La Land?
I liked it up until like the middle, and then I was
'Kay.
like, I loved the opening.
Okay.
I wanted more of.
Oh
the
yeah, you're a
opening.
musical fan. You guys are like
Yes.
theater fans. Okay, see, I'm not like
Oh.
that, so I don't have that aspect going into
My
it.
theater, what do you call that? Rep? I don't know.
Resume.
Experience
Yeah,
resume
experience.
is fucking Phantom of the Opera. Like that's
yeah,
all.
you- that's
That's
like- I remember
all.
that
I've
about
seen
you.
it twice, and that's
That's a
all
good-
I need in my life.
Have you
Pe-
seen it on stage or you
Yeah,
seen the movie?
I've seen
Okay.
it at Pantages in LA, and I've seen it in
Wow.
San Diego.
Big fan right there.
Dude, it's great. I want to go. I want to take Brooke because she's never been live
Nice.
and on stage, and I fucking love it. I love the soundtrack. I'll sing it in my car. It's really risky if I like play my music on shuffle, just all the songs, because that's in there, and people are like, all of a sudden it's like,
Part
dun.
of a psychopath.
Yeah, and I'm like, skip. Sorry, that's for a
Dune
different mode.
audiobook in my iTunes library. So if I'm like shuffling music, sometimes it'll just be like, in the deserts of Arrakis.
You're like, what?
Like, where am I right
You
now?
got to make a joke.
You-
You're like, my phone's weird, dude. It's been doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
Paul Atreides.
But that's my experience. But I love La La Land.
And all right, guys, that was her. So thanks for talking. No, that was a really. I liked that trade-off.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But
But
What do
I
you guys think of Olivia Wilde's character?
I was gonna get into hers.
I am kind of.
She's wild.
She's
bro.
wild, but like I
Again.
don't want to call myself out, but I like
That's me.
Like
I
feel that.
Mask and it's Olivia Wilde.
Oh my god.
No, I like really felt that what's the word, like self-conscious at the end of the date, not during the date, but at the end of the date when she's like, you're not just one of those guys that's gonna like, you know, have sex with me and then leave, right? Like I've been there, and I'm sure like a lot of girls out there have been there, and it's like it's that self-conscious, like you're not okay with yourself, you don't love yourself. And so that hit hard for me, so I'm not gonna give her shit. That's why. Like
I was fine until he like hesitated because he was being honest.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
And then
he's a good guy.
You're creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
that should not have been said.
That line, and I wrote here that this movie does so well with dialogue because it needs to, because like literally Scarlett Johansson is not present. So it does so well in that, and I don't think that line really it sticks out for us because we know it's like not what the movie is. I don't know. It's weird. I didn't see it. I didn't like it. I thought it was super random. Like, she's super drunk. I get that. They're having a good time.
No, I think it shows like the pain that she's in.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
it's like you take it out.
Is that what that
is?
That
seemed pretty real.
Yeah, I just didn't like that she said it. Like, she didn't deserve that.
So she's getting over something. She gets turned down, and
she
now
should
she's
not be
just
dating right
turning
now.
to anger.
She shouldn't be dating.
Right.
She should be like.
Well, they remind it. Her reaction reminds me of like guys that try to hit up girls on like social media, and they're like, "Oh, you're so pretty," and
then,
then you get no response, and then they're like, "Oh, just kidding,
you're a hoe."
Yeah.
It reminded me of like that trigger.
Yeah.
That's why it felt so bad.
Okay.
Like, okay.
I feel that then a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was watching. I was like, whatever. I literally was just kind of like,
Right.
Like, I want the movie to get going here because you know where it's going, but you're like,
Samantha.
Yeah, where's Samantha? I don't give a shit. Olivia Wilde.
You need to.
She was pretty for the first 5 seconds. Look at her. No,
but no, I think it kind of just showed like neither of them should
be there.
Yeah.
Their friends should not be setting them up. Their friends should be like, yo, you need to heal before you go to
heal. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man,
like
big
that.
heel energy.
I really appreciated how like non-judgmental Chris Pratt's character was.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
His character's so funny.
Yeah. He was great in the movie. I loved his fashion too.
Yes.
Yeah. The fashion
Kylo Ren
and his hands
pants.
are always on his hips.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey guys."
The fashion is so weird. It's like a mix of like 70s like future vibe.
Like dad vibes.
Yeah, like
but like cool dad vibes.
Like,
I don't know.
The dad future.
What's that material? It's not like
corduroy?
Yeah, like the shirts were
wool.
wool polos. Were big back then, and
polos.
I feel like they wear them a lot in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
lots of cardigans.
Cardigans.
Yeah,
I love me some cardigans. Love them.
But yeah, to get back to Chris Pratt's like kind of non-judgmentalness, like when Theodore is going up to the desk and saying, you know, Chris Pratt's like, "Oh, we should do a double date," and then obviously Theodore has just gone through this really rough divorce signing with his ex, and she's.
But does he even know that? He doesn't know that. I don't think.
Chris Pratt doesn't.
No, Chris Pratt doesn't. But like you're kind of seeing inside Theodore's mind how self-conscious he's feeling about having to admit like the person I'm dating is an OS, and Chris is just like, cool. So where do you want to go?
Exactly.
I love that.
With the girlfriend on his lap.
Yes.
Yeah, like with like his.
She's
girlfriend.
A lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah, whatever.
She's
not funny. That's what he said.
And then their date on the top of the mountain was just so cute.
Yeah.
Like,
and they all have earpieces so they can hear. I love that, and I think that's and I can't really recall. I don't even recall what last year looked like. But what did 2013 look like in terms of acceptance for, gays and lesbians? And I probably wasn't as accepting as now, right?
Yeah.
We look at 2019, and it's like no one really cared. Like even if you think,
Don't Tell, was that still in effect in 2013?
I don't know.
I feel like
I think that was repealed earlier.
I feel like the acceptance you're mentioning is like it didn't really start until the last like 3 years, honestly. At least in media, in social, in movies and
I've
shows
never
and
really
stuff.
cared regardless.
Yeah.
Like I don't, you can do whatever you want, and I think that's what this movie speaks a lot about. And Spike Jonze does it without, he could have made it a gay movie.
Yeah.
He could, Joaquin could have went.
Yeah. Right.
Joaquin could have walked around marrying a gay guy after he, whatever it is, or, they're gay and they go and they love each other, whatever.
Like with the OS.
But the OS is even further than that. And I think that's, we've already seen, we know, that culture, the gay and a lesbian, the LGBTQT, was it plus? I don't remember. There's too many letters. Yeah. But now it's an OS, and they accept it then. So it's kind of like it's throwing all that out the window, and it's saying,
it can be
you
anybody.
should accept anything. If that person is happy and they're in love with whatever it is, like, let them.
No one else is being harmed.
No one's being harmed. It doesn't hurt anyone. Chris Pratt's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Give me an earpiece.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
let's go.
Yeah.
I think that spoke a lot to what Samantha said, not the AI, but the the comment on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
It was ahead of its time, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
In that term of, like, Spike Jonze is not speaking about people falling in love with OSs, I don't think. I think I think it has a deeper meaning than that. And I think it has to go with people that are gay or lesbian. Yeah, and they love anyone, and or transgender, and they're going through all these emotions that they may feel, insecure about admitting that. And he's showing that, like, you shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
People should accept you. And then if you watch that and you are lesbian or gay and you see how happy people are just being around, like, that makes me hopeful for, like, hopefully we can get over this whole, like, that bullshit.
It should not be like
sorry to get political on you guys, but that's how I felt on that moment. Is like, Chris Pratt's like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, if whoever you're bringing, and we're gonna go hang out and have a good time, and because I love you for who you are as a person, and I don't care what you do on your own time or who you hang out with or who you love.
Well,
we just want to share that.
It's that kind of thought process and scene speaks to friendship.
That
too, like the love of friendship.
You should
acceptance.
accept that.
Of like lessons
such
learned.
A positive,
like,
friend relationship.
That made me happy.
Yeah.
That the fact that it wasn't like they didn't write in the script like Chris Pratt having to be like, oh, it's an OS, or oh, it's an OS. Well, whatever. Like, they didn't even hint at that.
Hesitation.
It was just dude, where are we going?
Culture, like,
and
Catalina Island. Let's go.
Do you like Catalina?
Let's roll up.
That part where they don't even have to insert that does more than actually having more lines. It does more because you're thrown through that whole obstacle. You're just literally tossed through it.
Roller coaster.
And you're like, oh shit, we're through it. Like, we're good. Like, and I think Joaquin Phoenix, his character is supposed to feel that too. Like, he's thrown through that. Oh fuck, okay.
Like,
these people don't care.
You accept it. Whatever. I'm dating OS. Yeah. And then he starts saying it more often. He says it to Catherine. He says it. He starts saying it to Amy.
Yeah.
Amy's even like, oh fuck yeah, I'm talking to whatever hers is.
Like my best friend is like my OS.
Like, that's awesome.
I really like their friendship.
I love their friendship. Amy Adams is great.
Oh yeah.
She's great.
Anything she's in.
Arrival.
I was gonna say. Don't bring it up, Cameron.
Hashtag go watch Arrival when you
Spoiler alert, Amy Adams is in the film Arrival.
Damn it.
Dude,
Spoiler alert, her name is Amy in this movie.
We really, really love this film, but we gotta move the podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we
haven't talked about everything. I have so many more things that
I don't have anything I
about.
dislike though.
Ooh, okay.
Like, not really.
What if there is anything?
So I want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear.
Do you guys dislike anything? Is there things that maybe it didn't work for you? Go.
I'm ready.
I wish the cast was a little bit more diverse because it just kind of feels like a bunch of pretty white people.
Wow. Yeah. That's a good.
That happens a lot. That's the same thing with La La Land, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what. Like
There's pretty people everywhere.
Yeah, but I wish like
Joaquin is not
Emma
really.
Stone was Asian, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like an Asian actress. Sorry.
But Joaquin Phoenix isn't like a stud, but he's white.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Like, he's not like...
Yeah.
I think that's
in
what...
context of Hollywood, I think Joaquin Phoenix is an attractive man, but...
I had a huge crush on him when I was in high school.
He's not Chris Evans or someone.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
not like the typical.
The beefcake territory.
To me, he is.
He's on the spectrum.
I'm with you guys.
He lands on the spectrum.
I'm with you guys.
That's...
You know what? I never really think of that just because, like, as... an Asian person, like me personally, I'm always like, oh yeah, like and it's a sad fact, right? I don't want to get political, but it's like, oh yeah, movies, like they're probably not going to have people of color a lot. And it's just like a fact that I'm like, okay, sure. Like I know I shouldn't be, but I'm just like, all right, like I'm used to it. So I don't really, like on this podcast, I don't really think of that as something I dislike. It's just like something that happens all the time. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like more diverse.
It's
Totally.
It's
I mean,
overlooked.
it takes place in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh, you would have
it's such a melting pot of a city.
Yeah.
You would have immense, differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think a lot of
it is something that
directors-
you said that I overlook. I'm
Yeah,
just like, it's
right.
a movie, like here's the cast.
Exactly. But like I think a lot of directors and I don't want to speak for Spike Jonze, but like when they are writing a script or when they're directing, they're like, "Oh, well I have an AI in here and AI can be anything, so I don't have to be diverse." You know what I mean? Like they do a lot of that thought process is really what
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People of color as aliens.
Exactly.
All the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like where it's like, "Oh yeah, well, aliens are a different race, so they can be like there you go. You don't need to see anybody else in this movie." Or like we cast a black actress as an alien, but like you don't see her color. Like it's an alien. I don't know. It's just like
is John
It's
Boyega
not
the
something to look
first?
into.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
oh no.
wasn't he?
Well,
There's-
Lando.
Oh, Lando.
and Mace Windu.
Mace, Lando, and John Boyega.
Yeah. And then Rose is Asian, but
Yeah.
4 out of 9 movies. That's
Yeah.
it.
you have issues with Star Wars. It's okay.
Dude. When we get to Star Wars, I'm like,
can't wait.
I can't wait to tear it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Very excited for that episode.
I know.
There's gonna be 9 of them. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna do a whole thing.
We're
of it.
doing
I'm
all
not
of them.
ready.
Gauntlet.
We're thinking about doing something special for that.
Yes,
But
upcoming.
um,
But thank you for bringing that up, Cameron. That's a good point.
one thing that maybe I don't know how you guys feel. Is it a little too long? The film. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
I would say yes because I fell asleep.
You fell so you feel me.
Could have been cut a little bit. Could've been
I
cut.
think it does such a good job at setting up the characters and stuff, but really you don't have that many people. It could have been cut down, I think.
I think it could have been as well, and I don't say that of like all long movies. Like example, gonna bring up this movie every podcast, but Blade Runner 2049.
We just
is
keep
like
bringing it.
2 hours 45 minutes, and I would not cut a second.
Right.
But in the case of this movie, I think this movie could have been a really nice, like, I think it could have been an hour 50. And
Yeah, hour and a half, hour 45.
It was 2:05, right?
It's
Yeah, I think
2:05.
when we
Like
start
2:05.
getting into like the vacation and stuff, I'm like,
Yes.
like I get, like it doesn't need to be.
I-
when he goes in like to the cabin,
Yeah.
When he rents like the cabin,
and
out
she's
the
like,
I remember.
That's
She
the
was
sleepy
out
part,
cold.
like on the
I can
train.
Picture him walking through the snow.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
he fell asleep on the train. She fell asleep on the couch.
But again, there's no point to that scene really. It's just
yeah, and she in ScarJo is
like you
talking
feel the end of
about-
their relationship coming, but you don't need that scene to show that.
Yeah, it's
They-
kind of
they-
random.
Like the Alan Watts thing was.
Yeah.
Like, a
I was
little
just
out
gonna
of,
say.
like, not really necessary.
It was like a name drop.
Yeah, it's just like, oh.
Carrie's
Alan,
like Alan Watts,
Yeah.
love him. He's a great character. I remember him.
Just kills me every time. Get him out of here.
No,
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
agree. It
say
doesn't.
that.
It's weird. It's like, oh, now like I'm an hour and 45 minutes into this film. Now I'm implementing something else, and it's like, I'm
Exactly.
already fucking exhausted, bro. Like I've been through.
Emotionally
I've
drained.
been through hell and back already.
I forgot when the movie actually ended, and
Yeah.
so but even before that like train sequence, I thought like, okay, it's almost over. Like,
Yes.
wake up, Carrie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
It's about to-
Yeah. No.
And then I was like, oh my god, there's still 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly how I like the I forgot the exact moment, but yeah, there was a part where I was like, okay, yeah, like this is where it's finishing up, and then the whole Alan Watts thing happened. I was like, oh shit,
No,
there's like
yeah.
a good portion of this movie left, and like fuck, like I don't. That was the only section where I was like, god damn, I don't really want to watch this,
Mm-hmm.
or like the whole.
Yeah, you're
Um,
like, but the story's essentially over. Like
Exactly.
you know.
Like yeah, the lesson is like you know that Samantha's gonna leave. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're getting that through his filmmaking, through his editing. You
Mhm.
don't need to have those scenes.
Yeah.
So I was gonna bring that up, the Alan Watts scene.
Yeah, it was weird. Like Alan
Yeah.
Watts was really Samantha's push to like fine. I don't think that would have been the case.
I think it was there to show that the OS is evolving.
Yeah.
And that's how
I
they
get
moved
that,
on.
but she was already like hinting at that, like, oh, I'm
Exactly.
dating other people. I love other
Exactly.
people. Like all that stuff was already there. It's like you don't need to. You don't throw like another story piece at something where like I said, I'm already exhausted. I've already been through all this.
Yeah. There's already so much happening
Yeah.
in the movie.
Like I don't want to indulge that.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's already so much happening in the movie between all the relationships
Mm-hmm.
and like what you're kind of seeing of human relationships, but also like it's also kind of making comments on technology a little bit. It's obviously not the focus, but that's a whole other thing that's been thrown into the mix.
Right.
And then to add like this whole like the ARs are leaving
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing was like kind of unnecessary. Like it really just felt like it was tagged onto the end of the story.
Exactly.
Yeah, where are they going?
Yeah,
exactly.
like-
Dude.
If you're gonna throw it
If you
want to
know where they're going, go to PodPartDeux's episode
Oh,
Tune in.
because Sam about to drop bombs over there.
man, that was hot. Damn.
Dude, they set me up. They were like,
That
"Here's
was a good damn. You know what? That's a highlight right there.
yeah." The-
Where's my beer?
cheers.
Love it.
I agree with you guys. That's my main thing that I don't like.
Just one more point on that is that it almost felt like it was there to show a different emotion of a relationship, which is jealousy. But I feel like they already showed that with the blonde girl.
The blonde
of, like,
girl,
Sam
and
like
that's-
hiring
yeah.
Samantha hiring her, and
Man, that was an intense scene.
that was yeah, and especially
That's
when
a really reminiscent of this came out before that, but 2049,
Yeah.
where Joy
oh yeah.
integrates herself into.
Oh shh.
Carrie hasn't seen shit, man.
I totally no. You could tell the influence
Carrie
there.
hasn't seen any Danny new films.
You're like me. I don't see a lot of movies. I just see the big ones.
I saw Aladdin.
Good job.
I haven't seen that,
There's
so
music in
props.
there.
Props
Yeah.
to you. I haven't seen it.
But yeah,
I can't stare at Will Smith as a blue genie. So.
He's not.
that bad.
He's not a blue genie the whole movie. I heard.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was,
he turns black?
Yeah. He turns to Will Smith.
Yeah.
He
turns
turns to
his
himself.
human form.
Yes.
It was.
Oh, okay.
I
I
was-
figured they would do that. I
Yeah.
figured they would.
I was
Pleasant.
hesitant.
Okay.
About
I heard it was
the
good. It's
movie,
got
but
great
it was good.
reviews.
Yeah.
It's got great
Man,
reviews.
everyone, the listeners are just getting all sorts of reviews for
know.
movies in this episode.
This episode has 10 movies.
It does.
Yeah, I think that's my big thing. That's
Yeah.
all I have. That's all I have on negatives. I think.
Two good points that you guys brought up. So
Yeah, one random shot that just like sparked curiosity was like when he's walking around LA, he's at the beach, and then like he sees like that plane thing, like that art piece.
Uh-huh.
That's not real, right? That art piece?
is that like real?
Is that real
exist
somewhere?
in LA? I haven't been.
Not
to
in LA. I know it doesn't exist in LA. I don't.
I don't think it exists in LA, but I think that art piece does exist.
Okay.
Like I think I've seen pictures of that. I don't know for certain. Don't fact check me ever. But I think
Call 'em out.
that
They fact check him.
Go ahead and call.
It's not It's not his podcast.
We could use the DMs. We never get that.
Yeah, we could use the
We're
DMs.
just DMing each other.
Yeah.
We could use the hate mail. You know.
Yeah,
we
We
gotta-
use,
exactly.
you know,
can
any
use
mail is good mail. But I feel like I've seen that before.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, but it just sparked like a lot of.
I think it was world building.
Again, world building where I'm like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks real. Like I could buy that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Other than I just think it was a little too long. There was so many great shots and so many great dialogue pieces.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like so
there's
many
lines
quotes that you could use in
Ooh.
like life.
Yeah.
that like it's the lines about like towards the end that Samantha's like
where she said something about the chapter in the book. And
yeah
you're like,
that's
yeah,
it like made me cry. That's where I was like,
Yeah.
oh my fucking God.
that's sad.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all I got. You guys got
Yeah.
anything else before we get into shots?
No, I think we're ready to get into shots.
Pour 'em
I
up.
mean, I did like sexy kitten.
Oh yes.
Kristen Wiig.
Grab the dead cat. There's a dead cat. Yeah.
Dude, I was
Oh,
uncomf
I'm
that whole
wrapping
scene.
the
but that,
dead
like,
cat.
The Joaquin
wrapping
Phoenix
her-
played.
I'm wrapping
Yeah,
his
I'm
tail.
grabbing his tail.
It's a dead
and
cat. I'm
he's like,
choking you with it.
Okay, bye.
It's the cat.
That's
dead.
so real though. Like
Yeah.
in dating
I
and
mean,
like online
people
dating.
got some kinks.
Don't. Dude,
I love that.
Don't use a dead cat as
Don't-
your kink.
yeah.
Please don't. I love.
Don't
cats.
have a dead cat in your house. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Bury it.
But
Do you think Sexy Kitten has a dead cat in her house?
She does. She uses that shit.
Oh,
bro.
I'm just now realizing the play on that.
There it is.
My, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Now I know. And that has been today's segment of Now You Know.
Now I know.
Now you
All
know.
right. Let's get into
You
shots.
guys ready for shots? You know
ready
our
to-
shot system,
Do you
right?
know how the shots work?
No. We don't have
Okay,
shots.
good. I sip my shots.
But our
She's like, wait. I'm
No,
like,
my
I pull
mic's
out like a bottle of like Jose Cuervo
oh
or
my
some
god,
shit.
here we
I'm
go.
a manager here. I can get in a lot of trouble for this.
Kalua's coming out. No, so our shot system, it's like our own pure system. It's not A to F. It's not a 100%.
Oh.
It's how many shots do you need to get through this movie? So 0 sober, 5 is blacked, 0 is good, 5 is bad.
Carrie needs a shot of cocaine to stay up.
Don't do drugs. God damn it.
Is that how you do cocaine?
You shot
Just
it
stay
in
awake.
a shot glass.
Just to stay awake.
Who wants to go first, man?
yeah,
the guests have honors, honestly.
So you can pass it along. You can just take it.
Man, I don't know if I should go first. I know what
Cameron's
I
like 5.
want to say, but
5
Five
so
is
I
bad.
can
5 is
5 so
bad.
I can't cry through it.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with 0 shots.
There
That's
it
me.
is.
0.
Wow.
0. It's a
0
perfect
shots.
film.
Perfect film.
Yeah, despite the
Despite-
diversity,
despite a couple
Right.
love the
Couple
diversity.
things. Couple
points.
things.
it's great. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that you shouldn't be drunk watching.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course not.
I think it's
You would be
definitely-
confused too.
You'd be confused. You'd be lost. You'd be like, "What the hell am I watching?"
Or you'd
Let's
be
watch
way more
Pacific Rim
emotional.
again.
Sleep.
Yeah, or sleep. You could.
Yeah.
You would be like crying through the whole thing. I don't know. So
Carrie?
I would say either 0 shots or half a shot.
you just need a little
Nice.
sip.
Just a
Little.
maybe like a beer or a glass of
Yes.
wine.
Yeah.
That's what we,
Like
yeah, we
half
could
a
do that.
Glass of
Yeah.
wine. I'm saying 1. I'm an emotional dude, and I like to get the feels going a little bit more.
Okay. Okay.
You
so
know,
you wanna amp it up.
yeah.
Enhancer, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an enhancer.
gotta
The
up those
one
numbers.
really just makes you. You're not drunk. You know exactly what's going on.
It's a
Yeah.
warm up.
But it just
but it lets
elevates you.
Like loosen up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
I
gonna
like
have
that.
a nice cry. I'm gonna feel good about it.
Exactly. I am
Exactly.
ready. Let's
I'm a
pour
fan of a
this.
good cry.
Yes, me
Nicole and
too.
I watch depressing shit all the time, as
And
you can
I-
tell in all these episodes.
I
Like
just
how many
cry.
happy we had to force happy movies in our episodes.
Exactly. That's why we did. That's why we started with The Hangover, because we were like, we need a laugh, and then it ended up being shit. So whatever.
We love that. But it was a pleasure having you guys.
Guys,
Thank you.
Thank
for
you
having
so
us
much.
on.
That got real deep,
Thanks.
and I felt like I was in a therapy session. Thank
Dude,
you
I
so
feel
much.
great. I'm about to go out in the
Yes.
world and just attack life now.
I feel rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure, having friends on.
having
And
friends on. Cameron was on, and now Carrie. I'm just so glad we got another
know.
podcast
I know.
on.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are checking us out on YouTube, again, below we'll have Carrie and Cameron's information, so that way you guys can go straight there and listen to our episode with them and listen to some other ones. I like the Spider-Verse one because I love
a good one.
Spider-Man. So,
That
I
movie-
just listened to that one again.
That movie is one of my all-time.
Right.
It's very
It's
good.
my favorite movie that came out last year.
Yes.
It's great.
It's my favorite movie that we saw this year.
Yay.
We didn't do that episode, but
We just did
I
Far From
mentioned it
Home.
in Far From Home
Yeah.
that I had just seen it this year. It was my
Yeah.
first time when it went on Netflix.
I've been trying to get him to see it.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I watch it. I don't know why I just ignored it, and then
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this movie's
really good.
great. It's literally a screensaver at my PC at home.
Oh, nice.
When he's
When he's diving?
diving and it's upside
Classic.
down. I love that shot.
Classic.
Such a
Okay.
good shot.
Again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's been
Thank you.
great,
Hope you had fun.
and
Yeah.
we will see you guys next Tuesday. We do have an episode announcement. We will have Sawyer back on
With
from-
good audio.
with-
we love Sawyer.
We're praying. We're praying the audio works.
Yeah.
Damn, son,
You'll
where'd you
get to-
find this?
You'll get to hear his very buttery, beautiful voice.
In crystal clear
And
audio.
crystal clear. Like you'll really get the effect.
And we will be doing Logan Lucky.
Yes. So watch it.
Very underrated from what I hear. I haven't seen it yet from the time of recording
pretty
this.
funny.
So
Where
you
can
saw
you
it.
watch Logan Lucky?
What? Oh,
Amazon Prime,
No
if you
sponsor.
Got it.
Amazon Prime, no sponsor.
Cut that.
Yes. So if you guys are listening now, next Tuesday will be Logan Lucky. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay!
Woo!